Hello everyone, nice to be here again. I hope it's as nice for you as it is for me, even though the news that we talk about here mostly are not good news, but it's just nice to you know have a place where I vent out and knowing that there are people who are listening. Fine. The last time we spoke about how I discovered that my then husband was sexually molesting our our biological daughter. He was raping our daughter for almost 8 years. I did open up about not taking the child serious when she was 3 years old. That was the first time she opened about it and talked about it. I chose to believe him over her, and even when I found him on top of her, I also decided that it was a dream. It was just too much for me. I thought it was a dream. I chose to believe it was a dream until such a time where I got her panties and leggings in the box that was his toolbox that were placed in there for years and years, because it could be plus minus 3 years that I couldn't see those things. Fine, we're gonna take it from there today, and before we do so, please everybody that's coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, please subscribe, my darling, and please share this page because it may be useful to someone else. And also please like it, like the page. It helps with the page popping up to help other people who are just coming across the YouTube channel. And also please set the notification bell so that you can be among the first people to see the new video when it comes in. And for the people who are returning for the second or whatever time, thank you so much for being here and spending your data here. Don't forget to also subscribe, to share, to like, and also set the notification bell. Thank you so much. Now let's carry on. Before I carry on, you know me, Mos, but today I'm drinking water. Ne? That's just to boost my energy. I think I do need water. Fine. And then what happened after? Like I told you, he invited the elders of the congregation. They did come, and I also invited my parents, my mother and my sister-in-law. And on his side, I invited his mother and father. And before the elders could come, they were there, and he admitted to them to having sexually violating the child. Actually, it's raping. I don't know why am I taking corners, because that is raping. Our daughter by then, she was 11 years old. Fine. So he admitted to his parents and my parents, or let me not say my parents, my mother and my sister-in-law. He admitted to these four people and myself, and his mother was very furious. Why can you do this? How can you do this? And so on and so on and so on. Even his father was. Fine. But okay, he even suggested that he was gonna hand over himself to the police the following day. Did he do it? Nope, he didn't. You know why? Because after leaving there, I left there. I told him I cannot sleep there with him that day. After leaving there, I took his parents and back to their place, and my mom and my sister-in-law back to their places as well. And then I slept at my mom's place. Now, the following morning, at the time that we agreed upon, when we're supposed to meet at the police station, guess what happened? I found him there, and he claimed that he is there to find out what's happening to her daughter. What's happening to his daughter? Sorry. Ish, you do know this English, guys. The English, we always struggle with the he and the she. Fine. He said he was there to now inquire about the case of his daughter. Oh, really? Didn't you say he refused point blank? I never said that. Now, I will later find out that the mother convinced him that no, just deny it. We were a family against family. We would just deny that you ever said that. So it will be her mother and her sister-in-law against us. We are two. They are also two. So no, you are not handing yourself over. I don't care what happens, but you're not handing yourself over. So that was the case. He did not hand himself over to the police anymore. Okay, now back to the elders of the Jehovah's Witness congregation. What happened? They told me I was supposed to have started with them first before I went to the police. Number one. They also encouraged me then. That was in 2012. They said to me I shouldn't allow him to be arrested because he's gonna be raped there. They reminded me that I do know what happens to people behind bars. They said he's gonna be raped. And they told me that I'm not gonna like it when now he's raped. And you know, I just stood still. I failed my child the first time when she told me that daddy had urinated on me here. That was when she was 3 years old. When she was 9 years old, I failed her again because I decided to choose that when I found him on top of her, that is just a dream. So this time, after finding the bloody clothes, the panties and the leggings which had a blood stain, I don't know if I can just edit this video to show those clothes that I did find. I decided enough is enough. I'm not gonna deny even the physical evidence that is sitting in front of me anymore. So they said whatever they said, I did not care. I told myself the case is already with the police and I am not surrendering. I am not backing off from this one. Fine. And okay, fine. They left. That was it. And guess what? Now he's not handing himself over to the police. That's fine. The police. The police will also tear your heart. They will break it into smaller pieces. The police that was appointed to handle the case, he said when he came into our house, by that time he had already left. He had already found a place to stay and left the home. And when he came, he saw a big picture of the family photo. It was our family photo, our family portrait. And he saw him there and he said, this man, I know him from somewhere. I don't know where I know him from, but he cannot have done that. And guess what? That was his belief. And he made sure that he proves his innocence than proving the guilty part of his actions to the child. and to myself. He didn't even want to hear my story, but with a child, he even said, I must tell the truth. Maybe we're planning a divorce, so I'm looking for a reason to divorce him, so that he loses everything. That was his words. He actually said that. Even years later, he still insisted that myself and my husband were divorcing. And gosh, God knows this. There was no talk of divorce when this happens. There was no discussion of divorce. There was no plan of divorce. There was nothing. It was an ordinary day. But this policeman managed to get a report from the forensic clothes, from the forensic, no, let me put it nicely. The clothes that I did find that had a bloody stain in his toolbox in the garage were taken to the forensic science lab. It's called the FSL in Pretoria. And the report came. The report, when it came, I hope I can also edit into the video as well. The report said there was presumable semen that was discovered from the exhibits. That policeman took that report and sat on it for 5 years, almost 5 years. He refused to even register the case. The case of 2012 was only registered only in 2017. 5 years down the line, after I fought and fought and fought. By that time, I had been even in the ICU because I got sick at some point because of that thing, that unresolved issue. Hey, it was bad. And when I was in ICU, I prayed to God that please, may I please survive here. And I promise God that when I survive here, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for my child. So because of his delay, by that time that the report comes out, and it's clear that the report itself is 5 years old. By that time, he had been telling me that the FSL has got backlog. The FSL have got backlog, so the report hasn't gotten in. The preliminary report hasn't gotten in. For 5 years, being told the same story. And then I discover after 5 years that the report came back a month after I opened the case in 2012. So he decided to put it away, and by putting it away, he delayed the case and jeopardized the case and the English guys is back. He neglected the case, and it was only registered in 2017 in January, on the 30th of January. The case of 2012. And by then, the clothes were nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be discovered, nowhere. And they did get his DNA for comparison. There was nothing to compare it to. There was absolutely nothing to compare his DNA to, because the clothes are nowhere to be seen up until today. He claims those clothes did not come back, but the FSL did dispatch those clothes back to their police station, but they are not there. Up until today, they are not there. The problems that we have in our country, if we are not failed by the justice system, we are failed by the policing system. If we are not failed by the policing system, we are failed by the justice system. And because of that, there is no way to prove that he was the one that raped the daughter, that raped myself. Now you could be asking, what did the child say? The child says exactly the same thing that I'm saying. The same thing that I kept on saying. It was a dream. The child says exactly that. The child says, my whole life I've been dreaming, having sex dreams where my father featured. When she is asked for how long, she says, for as long as I can remember. And this made me remember that this child did not want to stay with us. I used to think it's because there is no child that is the same age as her, and we were living in a suburb, so it's not even easy to make friends in that suburb that we're living in. So I thought that was the reason. Only after that, when the trauma center counselor called me and said to me, the child says she didn't want to stay with you guys. Didn't you find it strange? And I was like, I know that is true. And she said, this child says, as far as she can remember, she told the trauma center counselor exactly the same thing. She said, as far as she can remember, her whole childhood, and she was 11 by then, her whole childhood, she had been having sex dreams where her father featured as the person that's having sex with her. Unbelievable as it is. And that was also what I thought. But then only the forensic psychologist made us make sense of the issue. It was because of drugs, the kind of drugs that he was using on us are the ones that were making us not being able to differentiate between reality, and because your mind is half subconscious, even though you can tell what's happening to you, but you are not fully conscious to actually know that this is actually what's happening. She also said, because she's very, very young, at the time she was young, so she said it could also be that the concept of having the father that is very loving on every other aspect, taking your innocence like that, was too huge for her to break it down. And then it's highly possible that it can be embedded into the subconscious, and then in the subconscious it's hidden, and it's better that the mind remembers it as a dream, as something that is not real. It's part of her own denial as well. She said that could be the case. So there could be two reasons that made us think it's a dream. The concept of denial, to a point where you think this person, this thing cannot have been done by him. And another thing being like the drug that he used could be the one that was making you feel like, am I dreaming? Can this be real? So your mind is not fully conscious, and that could be the reason why the brain decides this is just a dream. So because of that, we are told dreams don't stand in court. It's not a crime to be dreamt by someone, and because it's not a crime to be dreamt by someone, her daughter dreaming him having sex with her for that long time did not count as something that can stand in court. So the only thing that would have backed her story up could have been the physical evidence from the FSL, which we did not get. Therefore, the case remained unsolved. And by that time, I was fighting for her more than I was fighting for myself. I was fighting for her because I felt guilty. I was blaming myself that I should have left when this child was 3 years old. Why did I believe him over her? What reason did she have to lie about such a huge thing at 3 years old? It was only then that the conscience was eating me. It was eating me. I lost weight. I was fighting for her more than I was fighting for myself. By 2018, I'll come to that story later on, but by 2018, it was only then I had the guts to say I want to open a case for myself, and I was told no, it's too late. I don't have any evidence. Why did I not say that a long time ago? This was said by the station unit manager, the unit manager of the FCS. FCS is the Family Crimes and Sexual Crimes Unit. So that lady, and she's a lady, she said no, we cannot open a case for you. So he is still free. He is still roaming around. He is even remarried. What I like about his being remarried is that he married a person that I grew up with, a person that knew what happened to us because we were in the same church, Jehovah's Witnesses. So she took a lady from the Jehovah's Witness congregation, the lady that knew very well what happened to us, how we split up. And so it was not somebody that was just like, maybe I could have felt like, okay, there's a need for me to just inform her, even though she may not believe me, I must just inform her. So there was no need for me to inform her of anything because she knew the dynamics of our breakup. She knew the dynamics of our divorce, but she still decided she was gonna take him as a husband. So yes, they are having a family, and I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them. Like, I am not bothered by that. I don't want to lie. So for now, let me just break up this story right here. That will be our part 3 of these videos. And thank you so much for spending your data again. I just don't want this video to be as long as that other one because there's a lot. There is a lot, but I'll break it down just bit by bit, bit by bit. But also, I don't want to spoil everything that is in the book because some of the things are in the book, so I don't want to spoil a lot about what is in the book so that you can join the dots. So I'm gonna give you the dots that look like they are not joining, but the minute you get hold of the book, everything is gonna add up because they are like, everything is like step by step, every dot joined together up until the last bit where you get to fully understand why did the case not move forward. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please subscribe, share, like, and don't forget the notification bell so that you can be the first one when I upload the next one. Thank you so much, my darlings. I love you all. Thank you. Bye.